Hello lovelies, and welcome to another video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Lily. I am a 23-year-old cash budgeter and stuffer. I am currently living with my boyfriend and our 3 dogs in the home that we recently purchased together, and we're really just trying to get a grip on our finances and life. So if any of that sounds like content that may interest you, I hope that you consider hitting that subscribe button, sending some support my way. Happy Saturday, everyone. Again, we are here at the dining room table. It is still Thursday that I'm filming this, pre-filming, and it is 1,000,000 degrees, 92 outside to be specific, so the 3rd floor attic is incredibly hot still. So I am just gonna film this week's videos down here, but I hope that your weekend is full of fun and exciting things. Today's video is going to be a little different, but I feel like I've also been saying that a lot lately, so I guess just come on over here prepared for literally anything at this point. But today we're going to take a page out of Kristen from Intentional Living's book. If you missed Thursday's video, we did a little unboxing of some Happy Mail new savings challenge I am so excited about. But we are going to do our nails today, and I'm going to answer some questions that you guys had for me over on Instagram and in the comments of Tuesday's video, and just sort of mainly chit chat about the home buying process and life. And yeah, so don't mind this background, please. This is my lovely dining room table provided kindly by Austin's grandparents. And then I believe this tablecloth is either from TJ Maxx or Walmart. I'm not gonna lie. But to start us off here, you guys, I was lucky enough to be sent some nail polishes that we're going to try out today. I did already open this just to make sure that that was what this package was, but I didn't dig into them too far. I also did already prep all of my nails but one, as far as, you know, putting the tips on and filing and shaping and all that fun stuff, just to kind of, I guess it's not fun, that's the boring part. Anyway, I will show you all the products that I use, how I use them. We'll put a nail on together and then we'll paint all of them. And of course I will link everything that you can buy down in the description box for you. But first, I want to dig into these polishes. So, aren't they just so pretty? These are from Nail Reserve LA, and they make vegan, cruelty-free nail polishes that are free from harsh chemicals, and they claim to be very long-lasting, so we shall see. I did get to pick out the colors that I wanted to try, which was amazing and really good timing because I just ran out of my top coat, so I'll just quickly show you guys the polishes that I got. It's kind of hard when my nails aren't super thick, but this is what the bottle looks like. Clear one. And I'll say right off the bat, these bottles are a very nice size. I'm used to the like little mini bottles of gel polish that you get when you order a set, but these are a really nice size. Now, I'm a neutral girly for sure. I love a flash of color sometimes, but I'll always resort back to more natural, earthy colors. So with that being said, I did get the top coat, and then let's see. This one is called Away We Go, and then this one is Wirewood Trees, I'm sorry, it's W-E-I-R, Wood Trees. I'm bad at pronunciation sometimes. I like that one. That's probably what we'll use today. This one is called Seafoam. I always love a green. And then this one is called Sandman, and it's like a nice like light mauve color. Okay, so we're gonna use the top coat, obviously, and then I am gonna do Sandman. That's what I'm gonna do today. Should I do Sandman? Oh, sorry, this is Wirewood Tree. Should I do Wirewood Trees or should I do the green one? It is summer. You know what? I'm feeling this one, so we're gonna go with neutral today. But these colors will certainly make an appearance sometime soon. Okay, so For this set, I decided to go a little, I'm not going to go super close up on my nails because my natural nails are horrible, you guys. I did decide to go a little shorter, and I rounded out the edges of the tips that I did put on to make them like an oval shape. You can get tips that are already shaped like this, but I ran out, so I'm working with what I've got. Quickly though, just a little rundown of what you guys will need this isn't a tutorial because I'm not like a nail expert, I'm not whatever, but this is just what I use. So I use tips because my natural nails are hideous. These ones you can get on Amazon. You can get them in a bunch of different shapes. These are acrylic tips, and these in different shapes and lengths and all that stuff. This package is nasty. I just ordered another one on Amazon Prime Day, but just a quick tip. This is what I do. I just write on the top of them which nails go on which fingers. I guess that was kind of self-explanatory. I need a file because whatever. A light. You guys, this light has been with me through some things. It is not beautiful, but it works very well. It's held up with me. It's never broken or anything. And it's just kind of worn down a little bit, a little dirty, but it's okay. It still works. Obviously, nail polish and a glue. Now, this may not look glamorous because it's not, okay? This isn't a salon. This is my dining room, and I'm getting this done basically for free for how long all this stuff lasts me, so I'll take it. Now, also, you can spring for an electric file or a drill or whatever. It will save you a lot of time and potentially frustration because hand filing can be obnoxious, but personally, I don't mind. I like doing it by hand, even though it takes longer, just because I feel like I can kind of get more detail. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making excuses to not spend money on a drill, but whatever, to each their own. And also, they make LED lights that are specifically made for putting the tips on. Like it's like elevated, it's like higher up to make it easier for you to hold the nail on. I do not have one of those. It would probably be helpful, but I don't have one. So sometimes like if I'm just chilling on the floor while I'm doing my nails, I'll just literally hold the light between my legs so that I can like get under it and put the nail on. But today we're just gonna prop it up. I'll show you how to do it. But basically, let's prep it first. I'm just kind of like going for it, you guys, because I don't have a crazy plan. But I do, we are also going to answer some questions, and I'll get to those once I can focus. And I think that will be once I get this nail on. So first thing I do is just file my nail down. This nail file I got at Walmart. They're like $1 or $2 a piece. One side is coarse and one side is extra coarse. I'm not here to tell you what you need to use, but usually on my natural nail, I use the coarse side, and then I use the extra coarse once I put the acrylic on. So I just file it down, give it a nice unhealthy scratched up surface so that the nail will stick to it. I know this isn't good for your nails, but I mean, I'm not putting acrylic on, so I don't know. Maybe this is better? I don't know. I don't know what just happened. I think maybe my Alexa just shut off. Did you hear that? Okay. So I'm going to grab one of these, this size nail here. This is a 5. This is what I use for my middle fingers. It's a little bit too big for my middle finger, but I just make it work because the other ones are too small or too big or whatever. So, and then the nail glue that I use is, I think it's called like gel-like, something like that. It's linked down below, but it says 6-in-1 nail glue. I don't know what the other things are, but it's a nail glue. Maybe it's like hydrating or something. I don't really know. It's gonna BS all its way. So again, the light itself, it's like sensor. It's easier when it's like on its side. I'm gonna prop it up here on my little stone. And I know this is like probably the most annoying video ever to watch, but I'm just showing you guys how I do it because you work with what you got. Not everyone has everything that they need. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. That is good enough. So it's gonna happen in like quickly, I guess. I don't know. But basically, I'm gonna put some glue onto the tip, onto the like base of the nail. I don't put any on my actual nail, but I mean, you can, some people do, but I just don't, because I already have a feeling that I put too much on here, which is possible. And then I'm just going to turn this on, and I'm going to press it like this, like really hard, underneath the light for like a couple seconds until it bonds on there, and then we can go from there. So you don't want to put too much on. Obviously, I'm not like perfect at this, but I just kind of like, see, like this is honestly probably too much, but I'd rather have too much than not enough and have the nails pop up. So that's just what I do. And then I turn the light on. It's a sensor, but it stays on if you push the button. I line it up, I press firmly, and then I hold it under the light. And that's pretty much it. I know most people know how to do their nails, but I'm just showing you how I do mine, little behind the scenes. I don't know. I usually do this like watching a show or editing a video or something, but yeah, that's that. It really doesn't take that long to stick right on there. So that's on there. Better safe than sorry. Sometimes I just leave it under there for another minute, and then we don't need this sucker to be propped up anymore. Thank goodness. Oh, another thing that I use that I forgot to mention, I'll link this down below too. This is just a little nail trimmer from Kiss. You don't need it, especially if you're going to leave your nails long or whatever length they come in the kit. But this just makes it easier because you can fit the whole nail through it instead of like a nail trimmer. We kind of have to go on the sides. So for me, I'm going to trim it. I don't even know if you can see that. I'm going to trim it to like there-ish, wherever I want the tip of my nail to be. And then it's pretty much just shape it however you want it. I round the edges, and then I file the entire top so that it's coarse and not clear. I'm going to fast forward through this part because it's going to be really boring. This is kind of a silly question, but I've always wanted to ask people this. When you're filing, I guess maybe it depends on the hand, but do you move the hand that has the file, or do you move the hand that is like getting filed? Because I kind of do both sometimes, but most of the time I feel like I'm moving the hand that's like getting filed. I don't know. Let me know. All right, that looks a-okay to me. That's okay. These are gonna last. My last set lasted like 3 weeks, maybe. They were ready to come off when I took them off, but okay. So I'm just kind of quickly re-going over some of my other ones just to prep them for the polish. And now we're gonna need that again. So all done with the glue. Now I'm gonna use these. I don't use a base unless I'm doing my natural nails. If I have tips on, I don't put like a base on. I just paint directly on them. So I'm excited. This is the Weirwood. I wish I knew how to pronounce it. Okay. So that is pretty. When I do the first coat, I always try to do like really thin coats so that it can actually cure. I like this color. And yeah, I mean, you're not gonna be able to tell anything for now, but anyway, let's like answer some questions, shall we? So it's not like incredibly boring for you guys. So I do have like a little note off to the side with some of the questions that I want to answer. So I did get some good ones. A lot of questions were about the house, but some of them were like more personal to me. So I'm just gonna answer those ones first quickly, and then I'll just kind of like walk you guys through the home buying process and see if I can hit those questions along the way. So first of all, one of the most asked questions that I got was about my manifest envelope, you guys. So I guess I do have a lot of new subscribers, so welcome you guys. But I used to explain that envelope like every single cash stuffing, and I haven't been recently. So for those of you who are new, my manifest envelope is a secret. I haven't said what it's actually for, and I'm not going to until I'm able to manifest that for myself in my life. And when that time comes, I will gladly share, and we'll like probably make a whole new binder for it, and you know, start trying to manifest something else. But yeah, that one is a secret until I can make it happen for myself, manifest it, and then yeah, that's just why I haven't been mentioning or explaining it, because I haven't yet. And also, thank you so much to whoever asked me about my health issues. I am doing great, you guys. No more surprise trips to the hospital anytime recently, anytime soon, knock on wood. Yeah, I'm doing good. I do pretty much know what caused all those issues, so I'm trying to avoid that as best as I can, and so far, so good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing good. I think all the medical bills are paid besides, oh, it just reminded me about my ambulance bill. I'll figure that out. Brief pause for a second though, so I'm just gonna pop this in for 90 seconds and then I might do it again. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, health is good. As far as budgeting goes, I work with a zero-based budget and I get paid weekly by both my full-time job and Etsy. And every dollar is assigned a job and they go to work for me, and the train's still chugging along here. So, yeah, I started the cash envelope budget by paycheck method in April of 2021, and I started posting here on YouTube, I think in May. It was a really quick. I found cash stuffing videos here on YouTube through ASMR, and I think it was probably like Pink X or something that I found first, and then it was all uphill from there. But I was really struggling with my finances, so it sort of just all worked out and came from that. And honestly, it gave me the ability to move out of my parents' house and rent with my boyfriend for the first time, and now here to living in the house that we bought together. So I'd say that I am very thankful for this system. All right, I think this is almost done. Yeah, okay. So that's okay. It's still a little tacky. I'm just going to try not to mess with it. I'm just going to paint the other hand. This is random, but I was just thinking it. Shout out to Brianna Budgets. I've mentioned this before a few times, but one of her videos was the very first video that I ever showed to Austin about cash stuffing. Like, hey, like this is what I'm doing, and like I kind of want to start making videos. Thank goodness he was supportive. But anyways, I saw in the comments on Tuesday's video that someone asked about my job, like what I do for a job, and a couple people actually commented and answered, and you guys, that made me so happy. You have no idea, like the fact that not only do you guys like listen and pay attention and remember those things about me, which is so crazy, you are kind and supportive enough to like comment back on other subscribers' questions, and I just thought that that was really sweet that this community is like that sweet. But as far as work goes, I also probably don't explain that one enough. My family owns a business that registers trailers And no, it is not glamorous. It's not flashy, but I am so unbelievably grateful to be able to work for my dad, bring my dogs to work with me, wear PJs when I want to, and the all-around atmosphere is just incredible. I genuinely could not ask for a better situation. It's an online business, so 99% of our customers are out of state, but we basically issue license plates and registrations for people's trailers, and that's about it. I don't know, there's not too much to explain, but it is paying the bills. But that is my job throughout the week. And then, of course, I have my small business on Etsy on the side that takes up most of my evenings and weekends. And then I used to work at a restaurant doing takeout once a week. I wasn't a server, but I was hired to be a server, but then they started me as a host, and then the manager that hired me and, said that I was going to move up quickly ended up leaving. And then they left me as a host for a while, and then they moved me up to go when I asked, and that's just kind of where I stuck. I could move up to serve. I just have some like training videos and training to do that I don't have time, but I'm currently on leave from the restaurant. I had to take some time because Etsy got so crazy, and then the move and all that. But I do plan to go back at some point. I'm just sort of waiting for the time to be right or for them to call me. But yeah, that's where my money comes from. And then, of course, YouTube pays out at the end of every month, but it's not too much, and it's obviously not taxed. So after taxes, it's nice to have a little bit of extra money, but I don't really count that as my income just yet, because I don't want to rely on it, of course. Okay, so as far as Austin and I, some people did ask just about us in general. So we met around October of 2020, and the story is actually kind of cute. It was during the beginning of COVID, obviously, and my gym had lowered their maximum capacity, so I was waiting outside in the cold at night with a bunch of other people waiting to get inside the gym. And like literally it was like a line. You could only go in when someone left, so we were all just like waiting for people to be done. But I could see through the glass that my dad was already in there and that he was lifting next to this tall, blue-eyed, tattooed guy who I swear I thought was like probably a lot older than me, because he was wearing a mask and, it was nighttime and I was outside or whatever. But I jokingly texted my dad from outside and I was like, oh, who's that? Something like, who's that cute guy or who's that hot guy that's probably closer to what I said, that's working out next to you in all black. And he just kind of like found me through the glass and we laughed for a minute. But that was that. I never talked to him or anything. And then a few weeks later, or a few days later, maybe even, we happened to match on Tinder, of course, the typical millennial, not a millennial, am I a millennial? I don't know, but that, a love story, but we never messaged or talked or anything, it just sort of happened, but that was how I was able to figure out what his name was, because obviously I just recognized his picture, and then I added him on, I want to say it was Snapchat, like I probably found him on Instagram and then added him on Snapchat, and I messaged him, and it just kind of went from there. Apparently he knew who I was. We did go to like school. He was a grade below me, so he is a year below me, like I'm August and he's the following February, so a little under a year, but you know what I mean. And we went to schools that like he knew who I was from my school, but I don't know, I was weird in high school. I didn't know anyone from any other sending schools. I just knew people in my grade at my school. But anyway, but yeah, the rest is kind of history. For the most part, it's been about 2.5 years now, and we have added a dog to our little family each year that we've been together. We got Cedric on our 1 year anniversary, and then we got Aria a few months after 2 years when I got back from Colorado. But yes, we have talked about marriage and kids a lot, actually. It's in the plans for the future, knock on wood, hopefully, but for now, we're focusing on making sure that we can be financially responsible and stable before we bring other humans into the world. But I had baby fever and marriage fever basically since we met, so it's there for sure. It's just not quite financially there, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think that's probably hits most of the questions I got that weren't related to house stuff, so I guess we can move on to that. That was coat 2, and I'm just gonna pop it under for another run before I do the second coat on this. But yeah, I don't even know where to start. So we were renting a really nice house, to be honest, with Austin's brother and sister-in-law, and financially it was not bad, but I have such a distaste for renting, and I know it's necessary for so many people, and we needed it at the time, and no hate on anyone who's renting. Of course, it's a necessity, but for me, I just hate the idea of throwing money away into something that's not going to be mine at the end. Does that make sense? For perspective, our mortgage is almost double, less than double, but almost double what our rent was when we split it by 4. But it's half of what our total rent was. So just let that sink in. Our rent was incredibly inflated for the house that we were in. Our mortgage now is $300 or something like that dollars less than what our total rent was that we had split by 4, and we have so much more house, and it's ours. So in the end, we are spending more money each month, especially not just because our bills are higher, but because we're splitting it by 2 as opposed to 4. But it is so worth it, in my opinion, because we can do whatever the heck we want to it, and at the end of each month, at the end of whatever, it's ours. We could end up living here and not paying anything if it works out. Or if we sell down the line, we'll be able to actually make, you know what I mean? I know you get what I'm saying, but, and there's something about blasting your music at full volume in the kitchen and not worrying about waking up roommates, just being able to do whatever the heck you want. I don't know, it's weird. Some people need a full house. They love having people over, entertaining. They want roommates so that they're not alone, yada yada. I love an empty house. Oh my gosh, I love Austin to death, and I would never say that I don't want him here, but there is something about the feeling that I get when I come home from work. He's still working, but I come home and it's just me, and the house is empty, and I can do as I please, and I don't have to worry about, people coming home that obviously I don't know what Austin's brother and sister-in-law's schedules are, so I wouldn't know when they were going to be coming home, but obviously it's just, yeah, it's overall, it's lovely. It's worth it, the financial side of things. Now, as far as the actual home buying process goes, for those of you who have been here for a long time, pretty much since the beginning, I did used to work for a real estate agent who is insane. She's one of if not the top realtor in the state, and has been for a while. She's just incredible. And she was amazing. We toured a few houses, and we actually put an offer on one that we had to pull because we found out some sketchy things about the neighbors. But luckily we did, because we found this one, and it was probably the third or fourth house that we saw. And the moment that I stepped in, I just fell in love with it. We had like 3 or 4 different showings because I just had to keep coming back to see it. I still cannot believe that we got this house. And I'm blown away. We made an offer with an escalation, which basically just means that we made an offer, and then we also, in that offer, we said that if someone else offered more, we would raise our offer to X amount to compete with that other offer. And actually, someone ended up offering more than our escalation, but the selling agent reached out and said that the sellers liked us based on our letter, which, if you're buying a house, you guys, write a dang letter to the sellers. Tell them about you, include pictures, what you like about the property, yada yada. It can go a long freaking way, I'm telling you. But yeah, they liked us, and they gave us a chance to raise our offer again, and we did, and they accepted it. And as much stress as I personally put myself through waiting for that call, it was worth it. I was literally shaking when I saw her name pop up, and she's like, "Oh, what's up? What's wrong? Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm just nervous." And she's like, "You got it." And it was just amazing. The whole process lasted maybe around a month of showings and looking and offers. A lot of people, it takes a lot longer for a lot of people. So if you're in that process and you've been struggling for a while, I'm so sorry, and I know how stressful and how frustrating it can be, but just know, I try to tell myself every single time something doesn't work out that it just wasn't meant to be. If it doesn't come easy, it wasn't, well, no. If it doesn't come easy, sometimes you gotta work for it, but if it doesn't happen, it probably just wasn't meant to be, and something better is coming. And I just always remind myself that the right thing hasn't come yet. My parents, when they were looking for the house that they're in right now, they looked at so many different properties. They put offers in. They got so discouraged every time it didn't happen. And then they ended up finding this house. It wasn't even on the market. And they offered and they got it, and it's perfect. Could not be better. So really, you gotta wait it out sometimes. But what's meant to be will come to you. Anyway, this is not that kind of video, but I put those in for 2. They're all pretty much cured, but the top coat is what's gonna seal her right in there. So we're just gonna do this. These are no wipe top coats. I think what that means is that if they weren't a no wipe top coat, you'd have to like rub them with rubbing alcohol or something like that before, or acetone. I don't know. Maybe probably not acetone. I don't know. Once you cure them, but this is just no wipe. And I love how big this bottle is, because my other ones, they last me like 2 seconds. Ooh, and it goes on so smoothly. If you do your own nails, or you have been for whatever, when you find a good polish, But anyway, once they accepted our offer, our closing date that we put on the offer was about a month and a half or so later, because we had to wait for my credit score to not update, but like I had paid off a bunch of credit cards to get my credit score to go up, and I had to wait until like a certain point in the month where they could rerun my credit. But that brought our monthly payment down significantly, raising my credit score. So if you're also in that boat where you're looking for a house and you're like, I don't know where that came from, maybe think about just pulling from some savings, unless you like obviously need the savings for the house. But pay off those credit cards so that your debt to income ratio is lower and your credit score can raise. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, and then for the showing, Austin and I ended up getting there like 15 minutes or so early because we were just excited, and we ended up getting pretty much all of our paperwork signed and everything explained to us before anyone else even got there. So that was really nice. And then everyone got there, did their own thing, and we were in and out in probably less than a half hour. Some closings last a lot longer, but this was just super quick. Straight from the closing, we drove right to the house, made a plan. We sat with it for a minute. We walked around. We're like, oh my gosh, this is our house. And then we made a plan. We drove to Lowe's and we started painting, caulking, sanding, cleaning, all the fun stuff. And that's basically what we've been doing ever since. We're still settling in. We still have some boxes. Again, I do want to do a house tour and I will eventually, but like, I'm looking at 3 massive boxes behind me and a tote. No, they're not all full, but definitely I still have some Etsy things down here, some decor that we got to put away. We have a couple more big pieces of furniture, just big mirrors and stuff to bring back from the house, and a couple more areas to paint. But we're pretty much done, and it's incredible, you guys. I am just so lucky and still to this day flabbergasted that this is my house, that I get to live here and say that it's mine and I'm not renting. And some other little things. Yes, both Austin and I's income are both used to apply for the loan. Both of our names are on the mortgage and both of us are on the deed. It's annoying, but if you're a small business owner and you didn't know this, I guess, or you're just starting out. Whoa, that was a motorcycle. I'm sorry. I'm going to run this one more time. But if you didn't know, from what I understand, you can only use side income, meaning like not your primary income, to apply for those things if you filed taxes for those forms of income for 2 cycles. Meaning the only income that I could legally report for my loan was what I make from my full-time job. So Etsy, YouTube, and the restaurant all did not count because I have only filed taxes for each of them once. So either way, we would have done this together, but neither of us would have qualified for a loan large enough to buy a house in this economy by ourselves, which sucks, but his life. It worked out, and we are splitting everything, so at the end of the day, it is what it is. But in case you didn't know that, if you are in a situation where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm making so much more, what they can legally say that you make, like via taxes, is significantly less than what you actually make, which, at the end of the day, it kind of works out because you qualify for less, but you can afford more. So, whatever. Two passes usually hardens this for me, the top coat. I'm sorry, I hope this video isn't like insanely boring for you guys. It probably is, but anywho. One thing that I do really miss from the apartment though is the backyard. We had an insanely large backyard. Not insanely, but like a really big backyard. I'm bad at exaggerating things. We don't really have much space in the back right now, but we do have a pretty decent sized like front yard that down the line sometime we do hope to fence in and let the dogs kind of run free, because right now we are leashing them like one by one every time, and with 3 of them it gets to be a lot. And Cedric is fantastic, and if he's got to go, he goes like immediately as he gets outside. But Arya and especially Franklin are very picky with where they do their business, and they will sniff around for an hour, not find anywhere that's suitable, and then we come inside and of course, the floor is just the perfect place to do that, right? So, I don't know. I've complained about that on here before, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Goodness. Okay. I do love the yard though, and oh, there were actually lilies that were already planted and beginning to bloom when we closed, which was so stinking cute. I really don't know too much about gardening myself. Someone did ask that. But I love flowers and greenery and like plants, and my mom, grandmother, and like Austin's family, oh, and all my grandparents are avid gardeners pretty much. So next spring, summer, they're all going to come over and we'll do some landscaping together. The other day, Austin mowed the lawn and he pulled up some weeds in the bed and kind of prettied up the flowers a little bit, which was really sweet. But yeah, my absolute favorite part of the house, though, you guys, by far, is the kitchen, okay? Now, I may not be an incredible cook or a baker or whatever, but the feeling that I get when I'm in my kitchen is just something else. It is beautiful, okay? And I do the dishes, I make meals. Some of them might be frozen, but it is just, I get such a good feeling being in there, and you guys will see it. I'll post something about it because it's just beautiful to me, okay? Also, I love the fact that I have my own office that is not also a shared closet with 3 other people and a separate filming space up in my attic that is currently a million degrees. But the fact that I can set my whole filming desk and setup and everything up in a completely different area that's not crammed in the corner of our bedroom, it's an upgrade for sure. And I am so stinking lucky and grateful and thankful. And yeah, you guys, it's so crazy to think that some of you guys have been here since like I was filming in my parents', like in my childhood bedroom. Like, how crazy is that? And then I was renting, and now I'm here, and you guys have been here through all of it, and that's just so nuts to me. Like, I'm sitting here now like, holy crap. Like, over 2 years, you guys have been like supportive. Like, that's nuts. And I cannot thank you guys enough for following my journey and for supporting me and just all of it. Everything. You guys are just insane, and this journey is insane. My life is insane, and I'm just so grateful for all of it and all of you. And I'm going to shut up now because this is done, and that is going to wrap up the video, I guess. If you guys have any more questions for me that I didn't answer, drop them down in the comments or shoot me a message, I guess. But yeah, I don't know how long this was, probably too long, but thank you guys for watching. I hope that I answered your questions. I hope that you liked this. Go check out Nail Reserve LA. I will link obviously their socials and their website down in the description box. Again, this one is weirwood trees, something like that. So pretty. They have like a million different colors, okay, you guys, and a lot of them, I think they're currently on sale. I don't know if they're like always on sale, but grab them because not only are they like good quality nail polishes that are like a nice chunky size, but they have a million colors. They're vegan, they're cruelty free. They don't have a lot of harsh chemicals in them. We'll see how they last, but I don't see them not lasting, to be honest. So yeah, thank you to Nail Reserve for sending me these. It was very sweet. Everything that I used is linked in the description of the video. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for sticking around with me. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day, week, month, year. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.